So it's the end of day one on my very last trip to Naamacha, supposed to be. Probably will be. It is the 19th of August, 2019. And we've just come back from the field. And the whole day has been an absolute comedy of errors. Everything has gone wrong. So this morning I flew at 6 o'clock as normal. Everything was fine. And on the way to the airport, I realized I hadn't taken my binoculars and my GPS. Only the two tools of my trade. It's like a soldier going to war without a gun. I mean, really. Oh, my hat. I couldn't believe that I did that. But it was too late to turn around and go and fetch it because then I would have missed the flight. So I had to get on the plane, and then I tried my best to get a courier to bring it, but they won't be able to deliver it in time. So there's no point. So I'm borrowing from people here in Mozambique, here in Naamacha, so that's fine. That got sorted eventually at the end of the afternoon. And the hotel is probably as bad as it's ever been. It's never been great. It's not great today, but I got my big room back, which is nice, but the one bed's disappeared. There always used to be 2 double beds in here, now there's only one. So that's fine. Outside, they have chopped down the most enormous, huge, beautiful fruit-bearing avocado tree that you've ever seen, and they're building a room where that used to stand. So that's gone. And then I come inside my room, and I have to show you this. Apparently, they had this massive group here over the weekend. There were like 30 people. Sorry, let me just put the lights on. And so this place was packed. And obviously in the jolliness, sorry, this is my toilet, but just have a look at the seat. Oh, there it is. Yeah, delightful, isn't it? But at least there is actually running water so far. Remember what happened last time? There was also running water when I arrived and nothing the next morning. So we'll see tomorrow. Then we go to go and change the SD cards and the batteries in the bat detectors up on the mast, which is always my favorite thing to do, go climbing the mast. And I go all the way up and the door won't open. So last time it was hanging by a middle hinge and just ready to decapitate me, and I wouldn't go up because of that. I wouldn't open it and work in it. So then I had to go back a week later or 2 weeks later when they fixed it, just for a day, just to go and do what I had to do. And so now it's all been re-welded, and this time it's been re-welded a bit too much because the top hinge will not open at all. So only the bottom hinge and the middle hinge opens. So I had to squeeze myself in as much as what I could open this big rusty metal door. And the top detector is not working at all. Just won't switch on. Doesn't matter what I do to it. Put all the batteries in, do everything. It's just doesn't do anything. And the bottom detector, I went through the whole process of rescheduling it, putting in new batteries, changing the SD cards. Everything was fine until I pressed start and get a message that says, warning, there's no microphone attached to this detector. And so I thought, what? And I follow the cable, and lo and behold, it's been stolen. There's the cable lying right next to me, cut. So yeah, the whole area has been burnt around the mast recently, and some of the stabilizing cables of the mast have also been cut. So yeah, somebody's been having a field day. So the top detector doesn't work, the bottom detector doesn't have a microphone, so it's all but useless. So I had to report back to Portugal, and I've been instructed to go back climbing up the mast and go and take the detectors down for their safety, because they're about 20,000 Rand each, although they are behind a locked door. But if they can, they can break the lock, they can get in, it's all good. So that will be happening sometime over the next 2 days. So yeah, fun and games in Namaacha. Had a very nice lunch, though, I must say. Not at the stupid hotel that we're staying at, but at a different place. It was grand compared for Naamacha standards. Okay, for our standards at home, it was probably the worst meal you've ever eaten in your entire life. But for these parts of the world, it was amazing. Yeah, had a good lunch. So that's the end of day one. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Cheerio.